Are your legs feeling weaker, heavier, or sore, especially after the age of 60? Do you notice that simple activities like standing for long periods, walking, or climbing stairs are becoming more difficult than they used to be? If so, pay very close attention. What I'm about to share may surprise you because it reveals hidden culprits that could be silently draining the strength from your legs every single day. Here's the twist. 2 vitamins, commonly believed to be essential for your health, might actually be doing more harm than good. Yes, you heard that right. These nutrients, often praised for supporting your bones and muscles, could in fact be contributing to muscle weakness, joint strain, and that unsteady, tired feeling in your legs. But the problem doesn't stop there. Certain everyday foods, often labeled as healthy, combined with these 2 specific elements, are quietly accelerating the loss of strength in your lower body. Even worse, you may already be taking these vitamins regularly, thinking you're protecting your health, while in reality, you're unknowingly undermining it. The scariest part? These hidden dangers are woven into your daily routine, present in the meals you eat and the supplements you trust. Every bite and every sip could be fueling the fatigue, stiffness, swelling, or persistent pain in your legs. But there is good news. In this video, I'll uncover the truth behind these so-called helpful vitamins and the deceptive foods that are sabotaging your strength. You'll learn what's really causing those recurring symptoms, and more importantly, what changes you can make today to regain your energy, stability, and independence. If you want to keep your legs strong, mobile, and pain-free well into your senior years, don't miss a second of this video. Stay with me until the end. What you discover could change the way you age, forever. 15. Sweets and sugary desserts. There's no denying the comfort and joy a sweet treat can bring, especially after a long day. But once you cross the age of 60, these sugary indulgences may no longer be harmless pleasures. In fact, they could quietly be becoming one of the biggest threats to your leg strength and mobility. Let's break this down. Refined sugar, especially in excess, triggers inflammation throughout the body, most noticeably in your muscles and joints. Over time, this persistent inflammation can make your legs feel sore, stiff, and more vulnerable to damage. You may begin to feel discomfort just standing or walking, and not realize sugar is playing a hidden role. But that's just the beginning. Too much sugar is strongly linked to insulin resistance, a condition that reduces your muscle cells' ability to absorb and use energy. When your muscles lack energy, they grow weaker and less effective, especially in the legs, where strength is already declining naturally with age. And then there's the weight factor. Sugar is notorious for leading to weight gain. Every extra pound your body carries puts increased pressure on your lower body, forcing your legs and joints to work harder with every step. This added strain accelerates wear and tear, heightens discomfort, and amplifies the feeling of weakness in your lower limbs. Now think about this. Your body already starts losing muscle mass as you age, a process known as sarcopenia. Add the muscle-draining effects of sugar to that, and you're looking at a dangerous combination that directly affects your balance, mobility, and independence. Sugar also causes a rise in internal toxins, which only fuels more inflammation. And the more inflammation your body has, the harder it becomes to maintain strong, functional legs. But there's another piece of the puzzle: circulation. Did you know that sugar negatively impacts blood flow? Excessive consumption raises the risk of vascular problems, which can reduce the flow of blood to your legs. That means less oxygen and fewer nutrients reach your leg muscles, slowing recovery, weakening tissue, and increasing fatigue. And let's not forget, most sugary desserts are what we call empty calories. They're loaded with sugar and fat, but severely lack vital nutrients like protein and magnesium, both essential for maintaining muscle health. So while your taste buds are enjoying a slice of pie or a frosted cupcake, your muscles are quietly being robbed of what they need to stay strong. Worse still, many processed sweets contain harmful additives like artificial colors and preservatives. These compounds can disrupt your body's natural balance and further fuel inflammation, especially when combined with sugar. It's a toxic mix that directly impacts your muscles, joints, and overall vitality. Now, this doesn't mean you have to give up dessert forever. The good news is, there are smarter, healthier ways to satisfy your sweet tooth, like fresh fruit topped with cinnamon or homemade low-sugar treats using natural ingredients. These swaps can still bring joy to your plate while helping your body, not hurting it. Remember, what seems like an innocent indulgence could be quietly stealing your strength, balance, and independence. But by making mindful choices, You can enjoy life's sweetness without sacrificing your health. Your legs and your taste buds will thank you. 14. Fried foods. Fries are hard to resist, but the harm they do to the body after 60 cannot be overlooked. Rich in trans and saturated fats, these foods raise inflammatory markers in the body. This inflammation directly impacts the muscles and joints, leading to stiffening in the legs, increased discomfort, and a higher risk of damage. The fats in fried foods also hinder blood flow, making muscle oxygenation more difficult. Poor circulation robs the body of its capacity to heal and grow strong. Another serious problem is that fried meals can cause blood vessel blockage, which further restricts the flow of vital nutrients to the leg muscles. Over time, this weakens the body's support system and speeds up joint wear and tear. Among the key offenders are foods like donuts, chicken nuggets, and French fries. Before we begin, I'd like to know where you're joining me from today. Leave a comment down below and don't hesitate to ask any questions. Also, remember to press the subscribe button and enable notifications to receive the best health advice from Senior Health. If you're watching right now, let me know you're with me. Comment 1 if this video resonates with you. If not, type 0. Consumed frequently, these foods overwhelm both the skeletal and circulatory systems, and the flavor they offer does not justify the harm they cause. Have you ever noticed that after a meal high in fried foods, your legs feel more sore and heavy? That's your body reacting to the excess of unhealthy fats. These meals take a long time to digest and require a lot of energy. As a result, less energy is available for your muscles. This directly contributes to leg fatigue. Furthermore, regular consumption of fried foods has been linked to weight gain, which adds even more strain on the lower body. Breaking this habit is not easy, but it's important. Fried foods also have a low nutritional density, meaning they offer few essential vitamins, minerals, or proteins that actually strengthen the muscles. A diet dominated by these kinds of foods leads to an imbalance that promotes muscle mass loss. And with less muscle, the legs lose both stability and strength. This affects your ability to bear weight, climb stairs, or even walk safely. Avoiding fried foods is just one of several simple steps you can take to preserve your mobility and independence. Replacing fried foods with healthier cooking methods can go a long way in protecting your legs and your overall health. 13. White bread. Though a common choice for breakfast and snacks, white bread's impact on the body, especially after age 60, is far from harmless. Made from refined flour, white bread undergoes a processing method that strips away most of its fiber and essential nutrients. As a result, it becomes a fast-digesting carbohydrate that causes rapid spikes in blood sugar levels. These spikes directly affect muscle health, particularly in the legs, leading to fatigue and weakness. Regular consumption of white bread can lead to metabolic imbalances. Its low fiber content and high glycemic index contribute to increased insulin resistance. Without enough fiber, the body struggles to manage glucose properly, impairing the entry of glucose into muscle cells. This affects the energy supply and strength needed for everyday activities. When muscles receive less energy, it becomes harder to maintain firmness in the legs. Over time, this can lead to muscle mass loss, a condition already common with aging. In this context, white bread is no longer a neutral food. It becomes a contributor to muscle irritation and weakness. Its effects go beyond just blood sugar levels. Being low in proteins and minerals, white bread offers little support for muscle recovery. For older adults who require more protein to prevent sarcopenia, the age-related loss of muscle mass, relying on white bread while neglecting quality protein sources is a dietary mistake that weakens the body meal by meal. The result? Legs that feel tired, shaky, and less resistant. In addition to providing little nutrition, white bread also promotes weight gain, especially when paired with spreads like butter, cheese, or sugary toppings. Extra weight increases pressure on the legs, which are already more vulnerable in older age. This added strain leads to pain, inflammation, and a higher risk of injury. Rather than supporting your mobility, white bread can actually limit it. While each bite may seem harmless, it's the accumulation of poor dietary choices over time that does the most damage. Fortunately, there are many more nutritious and beneficial alternatives. Whole grain breads, especially those made from oats, flax seeds, or rye, or those that are naturally fermented, provide valuable fiber and nutrients. These support muscle health, aid digestion, and help regulate blood sugar levels. When paired with protein and healthy fats like eggs or avocado, they become part of a well-balanced and energizing meal. So, no, you don't have to give up bread altogether. You just need to make smarter choices. And don't go anywhere. Later in this video, we'll reveal the 2 worst vitamins that could be secretly weakening your legs. 12. Alcohol consumption. With age, especially when considering the health of muscles and joints in the legs, consuming alcoholic drinks becomes even more harmful. After 60, the body becomes less efficient at metabolizing alcohol, which increases its negative effects. One major consequence is the impaired absorption of vital nutrients such as calcium, magnesium, and vitamin D. Without these essential components, muscles become weaker and bones grow brittle, significantly raising the risk of fractures and falls. Alcohol also directly interferes with muscle repair. This means that after any physical activity, the body takes longer to heal, leading to prolonged soreness, fatigue, and a higher risk of injury. Moreover, alcohol causes dehydration, which reduces muscle flexibility and increases the chances of painful leg cramps. It also impairs liver function, which is closely linked to the production of compounds essential for maintaining healthy tissues. There's also a strong connection between alcohol and weight gain. Alcoholic beverages are often calorie-dense and contribute to the buildup of belly fat, even when consumed in moderate amounts. This extra weight places more pressure on the legs and demands more work from the joints, ultimately limiting movement. When combined with the natural decline in muscle mass that comes with age, the results can be devastating for mobility and overall quality of life. Have you ever noticed that after a night of drinking, your body wakes up feeling more sore and tired? That's a reflection of the strain alcohol places on your muscles and joints. Regular alcohol consumption also raises the body's inflammation levels. This worsens joint and muscle discomfort and reduces your motivation to stay physically active. Over time, this cycle drastically weakens the body's ability to remain fit, mobile, and healthy. And very soon, I'm going to reveal which 2 vitamins might be silently weakening your legs. So stay with me. 11. Processed meats. Processed meats are a common feature in many people's daily routines due to their convenience. However, hidden behind that ease is a serious threat to leg health, especially as we age. Foods like bacon, ham, and sausages are high in sodium and chemical preservatives, which fuel chronic inflammation throughout the body. This inflammation affects the joints and leads to persistent discomfort in the leg muscles, knees, and ankles. That stiffness many people feel upon waking? It's often directly linked to these types of foods. Another concerning issue with processed meats is their high saturated fat content. This kind of fat reduces blood flow to the muscles, increases LDL, bad cholesterol levels, and disrupts circulation. Poor blood flow deprives leg muscles of essential oxygen and nutrients, impairing their maintenance and slowing down regeneration. The long-term result? Gradual weakening of the lower limbs, ultimately making simple, everyday tasks harder to perform. To make matters worse, processed meats contribute to toxin accumulation in the body, putting stress on vital organs like the liver and kidneys. These organs are responsible for filtering harmful substances. When they're overburdened, muscle fatigue becomes more frequent. Additionally, preservatives found in these meats negatively affect glucose metabolism, reducing the amount of usable energy available to muscles. Once again, your legs take the hit, feeling constantly tired, heavy, and slow to move. Though many older adults opt for processed meats for convenience, this is precisely the stage of life when more dietary care is needed. The price of convenience could be the loss of independence and comfort. Fortunately, there are healthier and equally practical alternatives. Try swapping bacon for avocado or olive oil, sausage for boiled or scrambled eggs, and ham for shredded chicken breast. With these small changes, the body begins to feel lighter and more energized, especially in the legs. It's a worthwhile trade-off, choosing freedom and vitality over temporary flavor. 10. Instant noodles. Now, speaking of quick meals, instant noodles might seem like the perfect solution for a busy or tired day, but their impact on leg and overall health after 60 is equally troubling. Composed mainly of refined flour and chemical additives, instant noodles offer very little nutritional value. They're calorie-dense but lack fiber, protein, and essential micronutrients, key components for maintaining muscle mass and strength. Over time, regularly consuming this kind of meal contributes directly to leg muscle deterioration and mobility loss. One of the biggest red flags with instant noodles is their excessive sodium content. A single serving can contain more than half of your recommended daily salt intake. This much sodium promotes fluid retention, leading to swelling and pain in the legs. It also raises blood pressure, which reduces blood circulation and further starves the muscles of oxygen and nutrients. The result is weakened muscles that are slow to recover and more prone to fatigue. Beyond that, the chemical additives in the seasoning packets like preservatives, artificial colors, and monosodium glutamate (MSG) pose an even greater risk. These substances are linked to chronic, low-grade inflammation, which quietly damages joints and accelerates muscle degeneration. Even when this inflammation isn't obvious, its cumulative effect limits joint flexibility and increases daily discomfort. The metabolic consequences are just as alarming. The lack of fiber in instant noodles elevates their glycemic index, causing blood sugar spikes. These spikes disrupt insulin function and prevent muscles from efficiently using glucose for energy, and when muscles can't get or use energy properly, they quickly become tired and weak. Eventually, what starts as a quick, easy meal can make a simple walk to the store feel like an exhausting chore. That's the power of poor nutrition. It sneaks up quietly and affects the very strength that keeps us independent. 9. Industrially made cakes. They may smell like childhood and taste like joy, but industrially made cakes hide ingredients that can seriously damage your leg health, especially as you grow older. Beneath the appealing frosting lies a blend of processed sugars, hydrogenated fats, and synthetic preservatives that wreak havoc on your metabolism and inflame your body from the inside out. One of the primary offenders is the refined sugar packed into these desserts. It disrupts insulin sensitivity, encourages fat accumulation, and sets the stage for metabolic imbalances that are especially harmful to muscle maintenance. Over time, this insulin dysfunction reduces the muscle's ability to absorb and utilize glucose efficiently, leading to fatigue, weakness, and diminished strength. But sugar isn't the only concern. Trans fats, which are often used to enhance flavor and extend shelf life, are equally detrimental. These unhealthy fats reduce levels of HDL, good cholesterol, while increasing LDL, bad cholesterol, thereby impairing circulation. Poor blood flow means your leg muscles receive fewer nutrients and less oxygen, essential components for recovery and performance. As a result, muscles begin to shrink, joints stiffen, and mobility suffers, making daily movement more difficult and painful. In addition, these store-bought cakes are linked to chronic low-grade inflammation, which plays a major role in both muscle fatigue and joint pain. Artificial emulsifiers, colorants, and stabilizers used to improve texture and appearance can disrupt the immune system and provoke inflammatory responses, particularly in the knees, ankles, and hip joints. This leads to a vicious cycle: more pain, reduced movement, more sedentary behavior, and accelerated muscle atrophy. What's worse is that despite their high-calorie content, these cakes offer very little nutritional value. They're energy-dense but nutrient-poor, meaning they fill you up without nourishing your muscles or bones. They lack essential nutrients like protein, calcium, and magnesium, building blocks for strong bones and resilient muscle fibers. Regularly eating them is like trying to run your body on low-quality fuel. Your muscles, the engine, don't perform well on such empty calories. Instead, they become sluggish, worn out, and inefficient. Many people choose these cakes for convenience or comfort, but those seemingly small indulgences can quietly chip away at your strength and mobility over time. The good news? You can still enjoy sweet treats. Homemade alternatives made with whole grain flours, fresh fruits, nuts, and natural oils can offer a similar level of satisfaction without the toxic burden. Even better, they supply real nourishment that supports your muscle and joint health. By retraining your palate and switching to more wholesome options, you'll start to feel the difference: firmer muscles, better energy, and renewed mobility. And your legs, those tireless supporters of your daily movement, will thank you for every bite of that healthier choice. Ultra-processed cheeses. They may seem convenient and creamy, perfect for sandwiches, snacks, or melting over toast, but ultra-processed cheeses like spreads, slices, and synthetic melt-in-your-mouth varieties carry hidden dangers, particularly for those striving to maintain strong legs and active mobility after 60. These highly modified products are typically loaded with sodium and saturated fat, a harmful combination that strikes both the muscular and vascular systems. Sodium encourages fluid retention and spikes blood pressure, while saturated fats reduce the elasticity of blood vessels, compromising circulation. This 1-2 punch leaves the legs feeling swollen, stiff, and heavy, even when there's been no physical overexertion. But it doesn't end there. Ultra-processed cheeses often contain preservatives, artificial phosphates, and additives that disrupt the body's delicate mineral balance. These ingredients interfere with the absorption of two key minerals, calcium and magnesium, which are essential for proper muscle contraction, nerve signaling, and bone integrity. When this mineral uptake is compromised, it often manifests as muscle fatigue, joint pain, and nighttime leg cramps, with the legs being the largest and most used muscle group, typically the first to signal distress. There's another often overlooked issue: the poor quality of protein in these products. Unlike traditional or artisanal cheeses that retain more of their natural nutrients, ultra-processed varieties are manufactured through aggressive industrial techniques that strip away much of their nutritional value, particularly bioavailable amino acids. As a result, the body doesn't receive the protein it needs to maintain and rebuild lean muscle mass. And when muscle begins to waste away, functional decline sets in: slower movement, reduced strength, and eventually increasing dependency in daily life. You've likely experienced it. After a meal full of processed foods, your body feels heavier, more sluggish, less motivated. That sensation isn't just in your head. It's the result of inflammatory and demineralizing effects from such foods. Over time, the consistent absence of essential nutrients weakens the bones and reduces muscular endurance. Simple activities like taking a short walk or climbing stairs start to feel unnecessarily exhausting. And astonishingly, that decline may trace back to something as ordinary as the cheese you spread on your morning toast. Thankfully, better choices exist. Fresh, minimally processed cheeses, like ricotta, cottage cheese, or homemade paneer, offer a more wholesome alternative. These varieties retain their mineral content and provide your body with usable protein and healthy fats. Making this small switch can help protect your bones, support muscular energy, and ease the burden on your joints. So before we get to the 2 worst vitamins for your leg health, yes, they're coming up next, take a moment to reflect on what you're adding to your plate. Because sometimes it's the small everyday choices that quietly determine the future of your mobility. 7. Industrial ice creams. They may be the go-to treat on hot days or a sweet reward after a meal, but industrially produced ice creams pose a serious threat to leg health, especially after the age of 60. These products are typically loaded with refined sugars and saturated fats, making them highly inflammatory and extremely calorie-dense. This type of dietary profile spikes blood sugar levels quickly, only to cause a rapid crash soon after. That up-and-down pattern disrupts the body's muscular energy balance, making the legs feel weak, heavy, and more prone to fatigue. Over time, this instability affects stamina and reduces your tolerance for physical activity. In addition, the saturated fats found in many low-quality ice creams negatively impact cardiovascular health. When blood vessels become less efficient at delivering oxygen-rich blood, the legs, being at the farthest point from the heart, suffer the consequences first. Circulatory issues often lead to sensations of numbness, tingling, or even frequent cramping. If this poor circulation persists, it gradually contributes to muscle atrophy, reduced mobility, and an increased risk of falls. While we might believe we're simply indulging in a comforting dessert, what we're really doing is compromising long-term physical resilience. Adding to the problem are the artificial ingredients commonly used in these ice creams, such as synthetic colors, emulsifiers, and thickeners. These compounds quietly fuel chronic, low-grade inflammation throughout the body, which plays a major role in damaging both joint and muscle tissue. At the same time, these processed additives interfere with digestion and hormonal regulation, making it harder for the body to absorb and utilize key nutrients that support muscle development and recovery. Another critical issue is the complete lack of nutritional value. These products are rich in empty calories. They may taste satisfying but offer nothing in terms of rebuilding muscles, repairing tissues, or nourishing the joints. This means that even after consuming a bowl of ice cream, the sense of tiredness often lingers or worsens, because your body hasn't received what it truly needs. Over time, the impact becomes painfully clear: reduced muscle tone, more frequent aches in the legs, and less endurance for daily activities. Each bite may feel like a treat, but in reality, it's robbing your body of the nutrients it needs to stay firm, mobile, and strong. 6. Milk chocolates. Whether enjoyed as a midday treat or a sweet ending to a meal, milk chocolates are a staple in many people's lives. However, their frequent consumption can have more serious consequences than most realize, particularly for individuals over 60 whose legs are already more vulnerable to decline. Milk chocolates are rich in both sugar and saturated fat, two components that significantly fuel inflammation within the body. This inflammation doesn't just affect internal organs, it targets joints and muscles, leading to stiffness, soreness, and reduced strength. The combination of high glucose and unhealthy fats also places the metabolism under constant stress, gradually diminishing muscular power over time. Another hidden issue lies in the low cocoa content of most commercial milk chocolates. It's the cocoa that contains beneficial antioxidants, yet this is often stripped away in favor of preservatives, flavor enhancers, and artificial sweeteners. These additives not only burden the liver and pancreas, but also interfere with the body's ability to absorb key nutrients needed for maintaining muscle health. The end result? Legs that feel fatigued, heavy, and more prone to pain and tightness. The rapid absorption of simple sugars found in milk chocolate triggers insulin spikes, which disrupt the energy balance within muscle cells. For older adults, especially those already struggling to preserve lean muscle mass, this volatility can be particularly damaging. It accelerates weakness and reduces endurance. Moreover, milk chocolate is commonly associated with weight gain around the abdomen. This excess belly weight shifts the body's balance and places additional strain on the lower limbs. The knees, hips, and ankles bear the brunt of this pressure, which speeds up joint wear and reduces overall mobility. That said, enjoying chocolate doesn't have to be off the table. Opting for dark chocolates with a high cocoa content, ideally above 70%, offers a much healthier alternative. These types are rich in flavonoids and antioxidants that actually support blood flow and muscle function. When consumed in moderation, they can even contribute to vascular health rather than undermine it. Ultimately, the key lies in mindful choices and controlled portions. By selecting nutrient-rich alternatives, you can still enjoy life's sweet moments, without sacrificing the strength and comfort of your legs. 5. Canned foods. Although convenient, canned foods often contain ingredients that can seriously jeopardize leg health as we age. Many canned products are loaded with chemical preservatives like sodium benzoate and nitrites, along with artificial colors, excessive salt, and other additives. These substances are highly inflammatory and can damage both muscle and vascular health. Frequent consumption of these foods disrupts the muscle regeneration process and reduces the muscle's ability to receive adequate oxygen. Additionally, the high salt content in canned goods promotes fluid retention, which leads to heavy, uncomfortable legs. This swelling not only causes pain, but can also signal poor circulation and tissue inflammation, especially concerning for those over 60 who often face hypertension. The problem worsens as excess salt places additional strain on the cardiovascular system, limiting the delivery of essential nutrients to the muscles. Another major concern is the decline in nutritional value. Even canned meats and vegetables undergo processing methods that strip away much of their natural vitamins and minerals. What remains is a diet low in nutrients but loaded with toxins that the body must work hard to eliminate. This added metabolic stress drains energy and weakens muscle performance. It's possible that your ongoing fatigue and leg weakness stem more from your food choices than you realize. Moreover, some cans contain trace amounts of aluminum, which can accumulate in the body over time. Evidence suggests that regular consumption of food stored in metal containers may impair neurological and muscular function. This increases the risk of falls, imbalance, and gradual muscle decline, risks that simply aren't worth taking given the alternatives available today. For those aiming to preserve mobility and independence, a vital first step is to avoid canned products in favor of fresh, frozen, or naturally preserved foods. Cooking with whole ingredients free from synthetic additives delivers almost immediate benefits for overall health. Choosing this path safeguards your autonomy and quality of life as the years go by. If you think only heavily processed meals harm your legs, prepare yourself. There's more to uncover. Up next, we'll reveal the 2 most dangerous vitamins for muscle health. And the truth about these supplements may surprise you. 4. Filled cookies and processed snacks. Many people enjoy filled cookies and processed snacks as go-to treats, but after age 60, regular consumption of these can accelerate the loss of leg strength. These foods are true offenders, packed with artificial additives such as dyes, flavorings, preservatives, and stabilizers. Not only do they inflame the body, but they also put extra strain on vital organs like the liver and kidneys, disrupting circulation and the absorption of essential nutrients needed for healthy muscles. These snacks are typically low in minerals, proteins, and fiber, yet high in empty calories. In other words, they provide a lot of energy, but very little nourishment. For older adults, this is especially harmful because the body's ability to retain nutrients declines with age. To counteract the natural loss of muscle mass, a richer, more functional diet is necessary. Unfortunately, foods high in sugar, hydrogenated fats, and salt only speed up this decline. One major concern is the trans fats often found in these products. These synthetic fats are key inflammatory triggers in modern diets. They clog arteries and restrict the flow of oxygen and nutrient-rich blood to the muscles. Poor blood supply to the legs causes discomfort, fatigue, and even instability, though these symptoms often develop slowly and quietly over time. Additionally, the excessive sodium content promotes fluid retention, worsening swelling in the lower limbs. Swollen legs are a clear warning sign. Combined with compromised circulation, a poor diet sets the stage for varicose veins, chronic aches, and a heavy, tiring feeling when walking. What seems like harmless snacking can have serious consequences. These processed treats also cause spikes and rapid drops in blood sugar, weakening the body and triggering constant cravings. This vicious cycle drains muscular energy and contributes to unwanted weight gain. The more you rely on these types of foods, the harder it becomes to maintain strong, healthy, and functional legs. Swapping them out for natural, wholesome bars or snacks can make a noticeable difference in your muscle health and overall vitality. 3. Monosodium glutamate in processed foods. From ready-made seasonings and quick noodles to meat broths, packet soups, and many frozen ready meals, monosodium glutamate, MSG, is a common additive used to enhance flavor. However, its effects extend far beyond taste, especially for people over 60. Regular consumption of MSG can negatively impact leg muscles and overall muscular health. MSG influences key neurotransmitters that control muscle contraction through the nervous system. Individuals sensitive to this chemical may experience muscle aches, headaches, tingling sensations, and general fatigue. When these symptoms appear in the legs, they often manifest as heaviness, stiffness, or even mild tremors. As the body becomes more vulnerable to excitotoxic chemicals that damage nerve cells, these issues tend to worsen with age. In addition, MSG contributes to chronic inflammation throughout the body, affecting joints, muscles, and blood vessels. This inflammation weakens muscle function and impairs circulation in the limbs. Poorly oxygenated muscles in the legs increase the risk of weakness, cramping, and reduced mobility. Many MSG-containing foods are also high in sodium, which exacerbates fluid retention and swelling in the legs. Furthermore, MSG disrupts energy metabolism by altering how muscles process glucose, decreasing their ability to convert energy into strength. This effect makes everyday activities such as climbing stairs or walking short distances more difficult. Over time, a diet high in MSG can lead to muscle loss and greater dependence on others for daily tasks. Most people don't realize how much MSG they consume regularly, because it is hidden on labels under various names like flavor enhancer, yeast extract, hydrolyzed protein, and other technical terms designed to mask its presence. The best approach is to avoid ultra-processed foods and artificial seasonings. Instead, choose natural flavorings such as fresh herbs, garlic, onion, lemon, and olive oil to support better muscle health and overall well-being. Now let's reveal the 2 worst vitamins that, if taken in excess, can seriously weaken your leg strength. Second, excess vitamin A. Vitamin A is essential for many bodily functions such as vision, immune support, and maintaining healthy skin. However, too much vitamin A, especially from supplements, can be harmful, leading to various negative effects, including damage to the leg muscles. After the age of 60, the body has a harder time metabolizing and eliminating excess vitamin A, which increases the risk of it accumulating in the liver and joints. One of the most common symptoms of vitamin A toxicity, known as hypervitaminosis A, is widespread muscle pain, particularly in the legs and back. This muscle inflammation can easily be mistaken for joint or spinal problems. Alongside the pain, signs that your nutritional balance is off include muscle weakness and difficulty with activities such as climbing stairs, walking, or standing up after sitting for a long time. Excess vitamin A also interferes with the absorption of important minerals like magnesium and calcium. Without enough of these minerals, muscles can't contract and relax properly, leading to fatigue, spasms, and cramps in the legs. Additionally, Vitamin A buildup in the liver can reduce energy production, further impairing muscle function. Over time, this leads to a gradual loss of mobility and strength. Another harmful effect of too much vitamin A is bone demineralization, particularly in the legs and hips, areas crucial for daily movement. This weakens bones and increases the risk of fractures, especially in people already suffering from osteopenia or osteoporosis. Vitamin A supplements should only be taken under medical supervision and in carefully controlled amounts. Self-medicating is a major cause of these hidden problems. Since vitamin A naturally occurs in foods like liver, egg yolks, whole milk, carrots, and pumpkin, a balanced diet usually provides all the vitamin A you need, making supplements unnecessary. Overdoing it, especially with fortified foods or high-dose supplements, raises the risk. It's important to monitor total intake from all sources, including multivitamins. First, excess vitamin D. Often associated with bone health and immune function, vitamin D is commonly recommended for older adults. However, many don't realize that taking too much vitamin D can have serious negative effects, particularly on the legs. Excess vitamin D toxicity typically results from oversupplementation. Known as hypervitaminosis D, this condition involves a buildup of vitamin D in the body. Muscle pain is one of the main symptoms, often accompanied by weakness and loss of motor coordination. Unlike some vitamins, vitamin D is fat-soluble, so it is stored in fat tissues rather than quickly eliminated. Too much vitamin D can cause elevated blood calcium levels, a condition called hypercalcemia. This leads to leg stiffness, burning muscle sensations, cramps, joint pain, and other related symptoms. Hypercalcemia directly affects muscles and nerves, disrupting the electrical signals that control movement. Excess vitamin D can also cause unwanted calcification of soft tissues, including muscles and tendons. This means areas like the knees, calves, and thighs may become stiff, less flexible, and uncomfortable during movement. What should be a protective nutrient ends up causing wear, restriction, and discomfort. Older adults taking high doses of vitamin D without proper medical guidance are especially at risk of these issues. Another serious concern is that excessive vitamin D can damage the kidneys, which play a vital role in maintaining mineral balance in the blood. Impaired kidney function leads to poor filtration and retention of substances, worsening leg edema, muscle pain, and feelings of weakness. This creates a dangerous cycle. More vitamin D leads to higher calcium levels, which further harms kidney function, and this, in turn, increases muscle problems.
Vitamin D supplementation should always be personalized based on lab results and medical advice. It's important to emphasize this because many people assume taking large amounts is beneficial and self-prescribe supplements. But excess vitamin D can be just as harmful as a deficiency. When it comes to your legs, this imbalance can result in loss of mobility and independence. If you want to keep receiving the best health tips and videos to improve your quality of life, make sure to subscribe to the channel. Helping you live healthier is my mission. Right now on your screen, you'll see a video about the 3 essential minerals every diabetic should take. Click on it to watch next. Until then, take care and see you in the next video.